So former RBA player Hakeem Olajuwon, I feel like that's how you have to say his name, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, rolls up a pack of LeBron James. Hakeem Olajuwon puts LeBron James in a body bag and zippins him up. Hakeem Olajuwon treats him like barbecue chicken in the post, backs him in, does the dream shake on LeBron James, and shoots a ball of truth on LeBron James. Now, Hakeem Olajuwon is another former RBA player who steps up and exposes LeBron James as one of the most overrated players in RBA history. Hakeem Olajuwon states that LeBron James and Michael Jordan is not a fair comparison because Michael Jordan is the more superior player. But here's what Hakeem Olajuwon had to say. He says, quote, "Not taking anything away from LeBron because he is a great player, but it's not a fair comparison because Jordan is a far superior player." Now, the one thing I would have to disagree with Hakeem on is that he actually believes that LeBron James is a great player, which he's not. This man is one of the worst players that has ever played the game. I literally seen a LeBron James jersey on OfferUp. I reported it for being offensive and inappropriate, lying to the public. I find it offensive that you would sell this man's jersey and all of his championships are rigged. I find it offensive that you would sell a LeBron James jersey and he has the most finals losses in RBA history. Take the jersey down. I'm really getting sick and tired of this Michael Jordan and LeBron James conversation because clearly Michael Jordan is in a league of his own. LeBron James could never be in the same realm as a Michael Jordan. Yes, Michael Jordan is the far superior player. Michael Jordan literally has 10 scoring titles. LeBron James only has 2. Michael Jordan could literally score while he sleep. Literally, like they said Michael Jordan was literally asleep one night snoring and scored 50 points. Jordan literally scored 69 points in a game. Even when it comes to a conversation between LeBron James and Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon is a far better player than LeBron James. Hakeem Olajuwon won Defensive Player of the Year and won 2 championships. Went up against the Shaqs of the world in his prime. LeBron James could never play in Hakeem Olajuwon's era. LeBron James had to go to Hakeem Olajuwon to learn new moves to add to his arsenal. And guess what? LeBron James still doesn't utilize those moves to this day. LeBron James is so stubborn and just thinks that he's the best player in the world that he thinks that he doesn't even need those moves. Study LeBron James' footwork in the post. LeBron James took all of the information that Hakeem Olajuwon gave him and threw it out the window. LeBron James has some of the worst footwork in RBA history. See, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant studied and worked with Hakeem Olajuwon, had camps with him to perfect their game and perfect their footwork in the post to be able to prolong their career. LeBron James, this fool, prolongs his career by taking steroids allegedly. The Michael Jordans and Kobes of the world knew that their athleticism would be able to last them a lifetime. So they knew that they had to work on their footwork so they'd be able to score in ways that they couldn't once their bodies had broken down. But LeBron James, his body is never breaking down because he's in love with the steroids. He has a steroid obsession. And speaking of the dream, I had a dream that LeBron James retired and we never heard his name spoke of ever again. I can go the rest of my entire existence without hearing LeBron James' name ever again. Can you imagine if Hakeem Olajuwon had the luxury of being able to play alongside a Dwayne Wade and a Chris Bosh? Can you imagine if Hakeem Olajuwon had the luxury of being able to play with a young Kyrie Irving? All the finals that LeBron James lost, Hakeem Olajuwon would have won. And I don't think that this is surprising to a lot of people that watch this channel, but I have Hakeem Olajuwon in my top 10. LeBron James doesn't even crack my top 100. Hakeem Olajuwon should be in everyone's top 10 because Hakeem Olajuwon is your favorite player's favorite player. Now, per usual, they're going to be the overly obsessive bronzesexuals, the LBGTQ, the Bronzesexual Coalition, who's going to be in the comments section. And every time someone speaks the truth about LeBron James, they have to be hating. They're going to label what Hakeem Olajuwon stated as hating, but it's just the truth. We're talking about the same player who played against Michael Jordan. He literally watched Jordan up close, and he got a chance to work with LeBron James. And he's seen that LeBron James is overrated. Even he was surprised at how much LeBron James sucked. But the media has hyped LeBron James up. He's been nothing more than a hype job his entire career. Michael Jordan literally dominated in the big man era with players like a Hakeem Olajuwon, the Patrick Ewings of the world, the David Robinsons of the world, the Kembe Mutombo, Shaquille O'Neal. LeBron James would have never survived during the big man era. He's too soft. He would have quit. Michael Jordan, had he not retired, would have probably had 8 or 9 rings. Other players like Hakeem Olajuwon especially, is thankful that Michael Jordan retired. It left the window open and it left a void for a player like Hakeem Olajuwon to be able to win a championship. But otherwise, no other team would have won. Michael Jordan stood in the way of a lot of great players not being able to win championships. LeBron James might have stood in the way of a lot of players, but it didn't stop them from bulldozing him over and winning championships. They still won championships in LeBron James' era. The Kevin Durant's of the world, the Steph Curry's, the Kawhi Leonard's, Dirk Nowitzki won in the LeBron James era. Michael Jordan had special go-to moves. LeBron James don't have a go-to move. Nobody is booking a private basketball session with LeBron James like they do Hakeem Olajuwon, because they know that they won't learn anything. All they'll learn how to do is quit, take steroids, allegedly. He has the most turnovers in NBA history. What, you want to learn how to turn the ball over? That's easy. I can teach you that.